no.
Stop everything you are doing right now and listen to this revelation. The biggest lie in professional sports history is unraveling before your eyes. We are watching the total collapse of the fake Olympic narrative right now. For weeks, the establishment tried to feed us a scripted story of failure. They wanted us to believe the superstar was too fragile for the stage. But their house of cards is falling down in the most violent way possible. The truth is finally coming out, and it is going to burn everything down. They tried to tell us that Caitlin Clark was left off for health concerns. The mainstream media repeaters said she was tired and her body was broken. They claimed the transition from college to the pros was just too much. Every major outlet painted a picture of a rookie who was barely holding on. The Olympic Committee tried to play the hero by saving her from herself. It was a strategic move designed to gaslight the fans and silence the critics. They wanted you to feel guilty for demanding the best player in the world. But today, the entire official narrative was hit with a knockout punch. The lie was not exposed by some secret leak or an anonymous source. It was Caitlin Clark herself who stepped into the cage and spoke the truth. She looked the media dead in the eye and refused to follow their script. She did not give the approved PR answer about her body being banged up. Instead, she delivered a verbal head kick to the committee that changed everything forever. The truth is out now, and there is absolutely nowhere left for them to hide. Caitlin Clark looked at the cameras and said she feels faster and stronger. Let those words sink in because they are the ultimate smoking gun here. She is not recovering and she is not hanging in there by a thread. She is operating at a higher level right now than at the season opener. If the athlete says she is in peak condition, then the committee lied. There is no medical reason for her to be sitting at home right now. The excuse of injury has been completely incinerated by the player herself. In high-stakes sports politics, you cannot just cut a superstar for no reason. You cannot tell the world that you are leaving her home because of jealousy. That makes the organization look petty and turns the entire fan base against you. So they used the oldest trick in the book, which is the medical alibi. It is the vague load management excuse that is hard to disprove from outside. By claiming she was injured, they tried to look like the responsible adults. It was a calculated move to deflect the massive wave of public criticism. The media cycle was coordinated to lower her stock in the eyes of fans. Suddenly, every insider was reporting that her ankle was swollen and her body exhausted. They wanted you to look at her as a victim instead of a warrior, but they forgot that we actually watched the tape with our own eyes. They forgot that Caitlin Clark is not the type of person to lie. Her performance on the court has been a clinic of high-level basketball dominance. The math of their injury story does not add up to the reality. Look at the timeline of her recent games and see the sheer violence. She has faced the best teams in the league and dominated every single one. Her shooting percentages are climbing and her assist numbers are making history. Does that look like the trajectory of a player who needs a long rest? Does an injured player record a triple-double against the world's best defense? She is playing 40 minutes a night and sprinting past everyone in sight. The medical alibi falls apart the moment you actually watch her move. When an athlete has a lower body injury, there are always obvious tells. You see a lack of explosion on the first step and hesitation planting feet. You see players avoiding contact in the lane to protect their compromised joints. Now look at the last 5 games of Caitlin Clark and see the truth. You see violent changes of direction and elite deceleration at full speed. She is absorbing contact from players who outweigh her by 50 massive pounds. These are the movements of a predator operating at absolute peak efficiency. Her conditioning is actually better now than it was in the first month. She has adjusted to the pro game and caught her second powerful wind. So when the committee says she needs rest, we have to ask what they watch. Are they watching a fantasy version of the league where she is struggling? Because in the real world she is breaking records that stood for 20 years? She is doing things that 10-year veterans cannot even dream of doing right now. The mental fatigue argument is even more insulting to our collective intelligence. She does not look like someone who is buckling under the massive pressure. She looks like someone who was born to dominate this specific global stage. So we have ruled out physical injury and we have ruled out fatigue. What is left is the uncomfortable truth that happens behind closed doors. This was a political hit job, plain and simple, against a rising star. Merit had absolutely nothing to do with this decision by the committee. They chose to protect their egos over the growth of the entire game. The US national team is filled with legends who have grinded for years. They played in empty arenas and flew commercial to build this league up. Then suddenly this girl from Iowa arrives and becomes a global phenom instantly. She is the reason the games are moved to the biggest arenas available. She is the reason for the private jets and the massive new ratings. Human nature tells us that the old guard feels a massive amount of resentment. They did not see a teammate, they saw a threat to their status. The decision to leave her off the team was a classic move of hazing. They wanted to send a message to the rookie that she must wait. They prioritized their own feelings over the biggest stage in sports history. They threw away an opportunity to put millions of new eyes on the game. They did not want to deal with the circus or share the bright spotlight. To cover up this pettiness, they used the injury lie as a shield. It was a cowardly move that has now been exposed to the world. We have seen this before when Isaiah Thomas was left off the Dream Team. The establishment tried to suppress a talent because of personal bad blood, but they just handed Caitlin Clark the greatest motivation package in history. By telling her she was not good enough, they have poked the bear. They have awakened a monster that is going to destroy the league schedule. We are already seeing a new edge and a coldness in her playstyle. She realized the system is not her friend, and she is taking control. The quote about feeling faster and stronger is a warning to every opponent. She has a month of free time now to upgrade her skills and strength. When the season resumes, she is going to be a completely different animal. The rest they forced her to take will be used to end their careers. She is going to go on a scorched earth tour across every single arena. Every person who doubted her is going to watch her greatness from the front. The second half of this season is going to be legendary for the fans. The lie is dead, and Caitlin Clark is the one who finally killed it. She handled this snub with more class than the entire committee combined. To the mainstream media who pushed the fake story, you should be ashamed. You acted as PR agents for the establishment instead of telling the truth. The war for the soul of women's basketball is just beginning right now. I am betting everything on the girl who says she is faster and stronger. Get your popcorn ready because the revenge tour is officially starting today.